It's just like, we don't need all these data and power cables. We know we don't need data cables, and we've all heard of Bluetooth, right? But we don't need power cables either. We don't need power cables, not outside buildings anyway. Not inside buildings anyway. But why, when Tesla worked years ago, right? What was it, 1800s? 1886 or something? I don't know. Ages ago, right? Who cares about the numerical date? It was a fucking ages ago. And he was talking about, I know he's talking about power transmission through the atmosphere, but I'm not talking about that. He was talking about, he come up with resonant coupled inductive charging, inductive power transmission. So why don't we have that in our floors? Like, we need that in our floors, in our homes, and we need that in big buildings and wherever, in a gym, in a leisure centre, just wherever, right? Supermarkets. None of us need to have all these cables all over the place. Look at this cable hanging off my headphones. So I've got to have this little widget on my lap, and it gets pulled off to the side. Why have we got all these cables everywhere? I'm so sick of all these cables. It's like living in the past. And I was just reading the awesome article on wallpaper.com. You should check out wallpaper.com. It's so good. They did some awesome articles on the Ferrari Luce. And I was just pointing out how ridiculous it is. You remember when the Ferrari Luce came out? All these so-called men were like, that ain't a Ferrari. It doesn't have a big oil guzzling, stupid, unreliable, stupid, heavy, giant engine in it. And that I was just pointing out that the irony is that these Luddites, these people who say that's not a real Ferrari, if we listened to them in the past, we wouldn't even have cars. We'd all still be using horse and cart. So the irony is, the people who saying this ain't a real Ferrari are the same people who, if we listened to them, would have meant we never even had cars in the first place. I just spotted another cool website earlier. Before that, I found another cool website called Babipur, Babipur, and if it's such a great website, such pure products, such humane products. It's beautiful. And tomorrow, the Commodore callback comes out. For the pre-orders for the Commodore callback comes out tomorrow at 10 o'clock. So go check that out. I'll be getting one, I know that. I'll be getting a see-through one. I know. I just figured out with ChatGPT what we should do to make electric motors better. But most people are on ChatGPT asking it how to eat salad, how to put on a hat. Very strange. I'm on there getting it to create an everything equation, and people are just, how do I eat salad? Like, people don't understand what this AI is for. Like, people, they don't appreciate ChatGPT. They don't get it. They don't believe in themselves, do they? People, and it's just like hanging around each other too much as well. There's huge benefits to staying on your own and avoiding people. There's huge benefits. But do I hope to be able to stay myself out there in the world someday? Oh yeah, I'd love to do that. Because I can't keep going outside and for everyone's sake, that as I predict, which is unfair on them. It's rude. It's offensive to them, but it's rude to them. It's not. It's not nice. But I have to go out there and really believe I have no value at all. And it takes a while after I come back from the supermarket to recollect who I am. And it's an unnecessary inefficiency in my growth process. And so the other earlier today, I think I had a nap, so I'm not really sure. Yeah, earlier today, like I went to the supermarket, went to Co-op, and some guys were giving me a really loving smile, as it turns out. But I looked at them like, have we got a problem here? Like, and that's because I'm believing I have no value in public. And so I'm like, people smiling at me, what the fuck? What do you want? What's the problem? But, it's just, I gotta stop doing that. But at the same time, well, I just gotta stop doing that. I don't even know why I do it anymore. Obviously before, I just, like, why I have this residual unhelpful behavior protocol in public is because I had to protect myself from approval, I had to protect myself from approval so that I didn't get distracted, so that I didn't get delayed, so that I didn't get interfered with and confused and tempted away from my purpose. So how I protected myself from people's approval was saying, I don't believe you're loving, and I don't believe I have any value, and I'm not who you think I am. And so I gotta drop that shit. Cool, the cigarette looks kind of like a lightsaber. It looked like a blue lightsaber on the camera. But, and I was saying earlier, I know how to make a lightsaber, but I don't know how to create the power source, the portable power source. But everything else, like, we can today make a lightsaber as long as you hook it up to a power station through a cable. You can have we can make a cabled lightsaber, extendable blade and everything, and retractable blade. Which is really the cool part of the lightsaber, really. We can make all the cool part of it. I don't know what we'd use it for. I mean, maybe for tunnel boring machines or something. But I don't know. But we can make cabled lightsabers, which is really cool. But still, we need some kind of super dense power generator. But it's cool that we could do the rest. I mean, one thought I had was like a micro fusion reactor that runs on atmospheric gases. But every planet you land on is going to have a different atmosphere, But, we can't even make giant fusion reactors yet, let alone, we can't make the small Tony Stark ones. But with my equation, we should be able to make systems that grow generatively of their own accord. And maybe because of the complexity that grows inside this portable power generation system, the complexity grows, the novelty grows, and therefore you can extract energy from it. You can harvest it like pruning a tree or something. But I don't know, like, I think that is probably how we'll do it. Like, in Rick and Morty, his spaceship battery had a mini universe in it. It's pretty cool. Obviously, we don't have Rick and Morty anymore because Justin Roiland showed his cock or something, even though we all used to be naked. I don't know, whatever. He made a mistake. So what happens? He gets judged by his worst moments, and we no longer have his gifts, like Rick and Morty. We don't have it anymore. We don't have it anymore because of your cancel culture. Because of your cancel culture bollocks. We don't have Rick and Morty anymore. But of course you disguise that fact by sending in a bunch of new writers to pretend Rick and Morty still exists, with people imitating Morty's voice, with people imitating Rick's voice. It's not the same. Justin Roiland ad-libbed. That was the funniest part of it. This ain't Rick and Morty, it's abuse. It's abuse of the franchise. It's an abuse. I quite frankly don't give a fuck that Justin Roiland showed his cock. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't even think it was a mistake. I don't give a single fuck about that. I say you all uncancel him so that I can have my favourite cartoon. You fucking disrespectful, not believing in people's redemptive power, making people identify with their worst moments, stealing their gifts from us cunts. Is that actually what you want to do? When everyone is a flawed character, when everyone makes mistakes, when everyone does wrong things because they're trying to find their way to being better, you want to steal from the world the things they did do that were positive, so that you can make a big point about how negative what they did was. Is that actually what you want to do? If you do, you're the R word that we're not allowed to say for some reason, because arseholes referred to differently abled people in that way, so now we can't use the word for slowing. No, you're retards. You're being retarded. Your thinking is retarding our progress and your progress and the love between you and the world. You're retarded. I give a fuck about your left-wing, right-wing battles between your little ideological camps. I love Rick and Morty. I don't give a fuck about your political division war. Give me back Rick and Morty. Give it back. Allow it to exist. Give it back. I'm tired of my favourite franchises being destroyed and co-opted. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of BioWare being destroyed by EA. I'm tired of Blizzard being destroyed by Activision. I'm sick of it. Disney Star Wars is pretty good. Sometimes it works, right? But Mass Effect should be Mass Effect. End of story. You can't just buy the franchise name with your big money when you know nothing about video games, you never played Mass Effect, you don't understand why people even like video games, and you fire all of the creative individuals who created that franchise and hire a whole new team and create a whole new studio and use a whole new game engine and still call it BioWare and still call it Mass Effect. It's really, really rude. It's really, really cruel. It's really, really destructive. And I'm sick of it. I'm sick of you taking the salt off my Ritz crackers. I'm sick of you taking real sugar out of drinks. Should it be unrefined sugar? Yeah, it should be natural, unrefined sugars. But I don't, or stevia, but everyone's like, oh, that's girly, that's lame, that's gay. I love stevia. Just stop ruining everything. Stop ruining everything. Big money. Big money got a heavy hand. Big money got no soul, as Neil Peart wrote and Geddy Lee sang. No, I'm sick of it. Like, what? Why are you investing in buying BioWare or investing in buying Blizzard when the only reason to invest in those companies was to keep the products that make their money alive, since money is all you care about? So you're not even good at only caring about money because you don't give a fuck about quality. You don't understand it. If you don't understand the product, fuck off somewhere else and invest in something you do understand. Because the money you make from destroying BioWare or destroying Blizzard, the money you make from it is not sustainable. All you can do as stupid asshole investors with your fucking AI automated stocks and shares trading systems, where you just sit back and set off your laptop and just chill by the pool all day, you're fucking things up. Your money seeking bullshit is fucking things up. Why don't you grow up and stop the dollar signs in your eyes? Why don't you wake the fuck up and do something useful, become some kind of useful person with all your money to invest? Believe in what you're investing in. Video game developers, they're not supposed to be money. No one's supposed to be money grabbing. Money is a reward for doing something you're passionate about and that's useful and helpful and valued by the economic market, by the consumers of your products and services. And then what do you do with that money? You reinvest it in doing more of the same, doing something similar, doing other things, being useful in other ways, being more useful. That's what the money is there for. That's what the economy's, that's what it's all about. That's the whole reason you made money, because you did something useful. So, and that's to reward doing something useful, such that being useful is a self-reinforcing thing where you can be more useful. It's not about just standing on a pile of gold like Smaug. You grow the fuck up. Stop trying to show off. How about you show off by being useful? How about that? Rather than climbing the Forbes rankings and trying to like commission the biggest super yacht that anyone has. How about you do something useful and stop seeking money like a bunch of greedy, money-hungry, money-grabbing losers, draining society, parasites at the top. How about you fuck off? How about you fuck off and we'll take your money and we'll invest it, because you're a bunch of cunts. You don't deserve that money. You're a bunch of cunts. You don't deserve that money. You don't deserve it because you're not using it to be more useful. You're hoarding it. And we've got the worst wealth inequality ever right now. The whole point in free market economics is you're supposed to use your profit margins to grow your business or do other things, start other businesses. Be innovative, be creative. Think about what people think about people's needs that aren't met yet. Think about how your life could be easier and therefore how others could be easier. And do something productive with that. That's the whole point in earning money. So you can sustain what you're doing and grow what you're doing and do more. Stop with this greed obsession, seeking the rewards of being useful regardless of if you were even useful. You're not seeking the rewards of being useful, you're seeking being useful, and the rewards are there to encourage you to be even more useful and continue to be useful. And if you're making a business and it's ticking over and it's self-sustaining, well, you don't need to make quarterly fucking plans for how you're going to make more money for your parasite class friends at the top until the business, until the parasite destroys the host. Sort your acts out. Sort your lives out. Become better. Be better. Get one of those things, you might have heard about them. It's called a conscience. Maybe get one of those things. Otherwise, the whole system is just a wealth harvesting system. Politics included. Where's your principles? Where are they? Where are your principles? Where's your decency? Where's your common love for humanity? Where's your desire to give? Where is it? It's just take, 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 take. And you wonder why our productive capacity is fucked in the West, in Europe. You wonder why our productive capacity is completely fucked. Because no one could, if you try and start a business to do something useful, all the investors are threatened by it. Like what happened, I don't agree with his politics, blah, blah, blah. What happened with Musk in 2008? He had to split his money between Tesla and SpaceX. And they just scraped through because no one had the vision or belief in the future that we should bother investing in electric cars and renewable energy, or that we should bother in private renewable rockets. Reusable rockets. The investor class is a bunch of cunts, like, for the most part. A bunch of retarded assholes. Stupid, short-sighted assholes. Well, that ain't been done before. Fuck that. What the fuck are you investing for? You're supposed to make this place easier to live in, more convenient, more humane. Just reduce the friction in all the technology. You're supposed to help us get to the future, investors. That's the whole point. Take a risk. Where's your risk taking? Where is your risk taking? That's the whole... What the fuck? You got no balls or something? Have you got no balls? Do you want the whole world to look at you and go, he's got no balls? Is that what you want? Seems like it. Oh, you ask a kid what they want to be today. I want to be famous. That's what they say. They're aiming at a reward for being useful. They don't even care how they get famous. Shaking their ass on Instagram. They don't even care how they do it. They just want to be famous so that they can feel like they're real and feel like someone gives a fuck about them. No, fame, status, power, wealth, influence, money, people's affection and appreciation. These are rewards, happy surprise rewards. If you're doing a good job, if people appreciate what you're doing. And what do you do with the rewards? You use them to do more things, be better, give more. And then you get more rewards. And then you can give even more. And then you get more reward, even more rewards. And then you can give even more. That's the whole point. It's supposed to be a virtuous cycle. And you're just using your regulatory capture to shut down startup competitors who are going to do things better than you and offer the better quality products and services that can be that are even more useful at a lower price and outcompete you. But all you giant transnational corporations don't give a fuck. You just want to stay at the top and keep draining our wealth so that everyone's running to stand still and no one can afford fuck all. And these are supposed capitalists. This is not the ideal of capitalism we're living in. If you want to call it capitalism, fine. In that case, capitalism fucking sucks. Whatever you want to call the current wealth extraction system, I call it global corporatism. Whatever you want to call it, if we all agree it fucking sucks, man. All the real people who, the more oppressed you are, the more virtuous you are. The more under the thumb of the system you are, the better the person you are. And so us normal people, we can see it's shit. Whatever you want to call it, I don't care. I don't care what you call it. It sucks, whatever it's called. But this ain't what Hayek was talking about when he was talking about free market economics. He was not talking about this global corporatist wealth extraction system. That is not what Hayek was talking about. And whatever the banks are doing with the national banks and the treasuries and the bond markets, they can fuck off with that shit too, man. They can fuck right off with that shit. You're not going to ask the Bank of England for free money to do what you got to do. No, you got to earn it. You're a bank. You make money by looking after people's money. Okay, that's how you make money. You don't just cream it off the taxpayer and it's an invisible tax that the taxpayer can't see. No, that's fucking bullshit. You better stop your corrupt theft systems of theft and stealing. You're a bunch of criminal bastards. And who do we want to rise to the top of society? We want the best of us at the top of society. But like in Meet John Doe, she said, the wrong people are jumping off the buildings. Who is the most virtuous in society? Probably some homeless person somewhere. The homeless are the best people in society. The ones on the streets, freezing cold, with drug addictions, they're getting snowed on. They're the ones who should be at the top. It's completely the wrong way around. And the few at the top are supposed to serve the many. The many are not supposed to serve the few at the top. And in this situation, they're not really at the top. They're at the bottom, aren't they? They're in the gutter. Meanwhile, the people who should be at the top are literally in the gutter. Not just morally. Not morally in the gutter. They're literally in the gutter. Face down, choking on their sick, getting rained on and splashed by cars as they drive past. Can I have a bit of money, please? Fuck off, you cunt. Can I have a little look in your shopping bag? Can I take something? Fuck off, you cunt. I'm a little bit mentally confused because I'm trying to figure things out because no one else is actually taking that responsibility, so I'm homeless. Can you help me out? Fuck off, you cunt. I'm a homeless person. I get to really understand good and evil and the ills of society. Can I have some influence, please? Fuck off, you cunt. This wealth inequality is disgusting, you know. If we understood what Hayek was saying, if we understood what von Mises was saying, if we understood what Murray Rothbard was saying, we would not have trickle-down economics. We would have a waterfall economics. Do we need good regulation? Of course we do. Of course we do. We need minimum necessary sufficient health and safety regulations. And we need moral, fairness, justice, business practices regulations as well. Of course we need regulations. But as we see in Formula One, over-regulation destroys innovation. And over-regulation is a great way to crush small competitors, upstarts, who just can't afford all the legal teams, who can't afford to buy all the signage that says, look after yourself. It doesn't say that, does it? It says, this shit that's obviously spinning around can spin around. Be careful around this machine. Or I don't know what the health and safety regulations are, and I don't. It's not like I believe it's true that the EU wanted straight bananas or something, but it makes the point, doesn't it? Like, it makes the point. We wouldn't be surprised if that was happening. Regulations have got to be minimum necessary sufficient regulations. Nothing more than that. Nothing more than that. Unless we find that's not sufficient, then it has to become more than that. But only to the degree necessary to solve the problem. And give people in the system the respect of having responsibility to make decisions for themselves with their expertise and do a good job and improve systems and procedures and regulations. Procedures and regulations. And we need, all lobbying needs to be open and public. All lobbying needs to be open to the public. In fact, these companies should be lobbying us, and then we'll tell the politicians what to do through a digital direct democracy platform. There's too many people doing the wrong thing and getting the rewards for doing the right thing. And there's too many people who are doing the right thing getting the mistreatment of doing the wrong thing. Getting the punishment that people who did the wrong thing should be getting. All the people with good dharma get the bad karma of those with bad dharma, who get all of the good karma of the people who should get the good karma because they have the good dharma but receive the bad karma. It's complete bollocks. It's complete fucking bollocks. And we need to sort it out right now. Because some people can't afford to live right now. I mean, it's not just the homeless, it's people with homes becoming homeless. No one can save any money because of what the bank's doing, being enabled to be useless. Go with the building society. They're all right. But the banks, the private banks, they can fuck off with their fucking Bank of England fucking free money. They can fuck right off. And we just don't see the growth we should be seeing. Forget that our productive capacity is fucked. Our currency is constantly inflating. And these politicians, they talk about inflation like it's a good thing. I understand you want cheap imports because our productive capacity is fucked. But it was your erroneous thinking that caused that problem in the first place, and now the whole economy is about consumption. How the fuck an economy that's all about consumption, all about importing, how can it make any money? We can't just have the United Kingdom just solely relying on like Rolls-Royce jet engines, which are going to collapse if we keep going this way, and ridiculous supercars and Canary Wharf. Like, we need a real we need economic conditions where people can do things, new things, and be helpful and be rewarded. And what do all these parasitical managerial classes do? They ain't promoting someone who can admit that what they're doing is wrong and they could do things better and that their job's pointless. They're not going to promote these people. They're not even going to hire them. They'll detect their virtue in the job interview and they won't be hired. They'll probably be fired if they are hired, they'll be fired pretty quick for pointing out that all this shit is non-jobs and a load of bollocks. We could do things better, more efficient. We could cut 90% of the managerial classes. These people are going to be fired or held back and run by managers who are less virtuous than them, with less expertise, less competence. We need social mobility. We need an economy that can grow. I want a deflationary economy where our currency gets worth more over time. Is that too much to ask? And if you want cheap imports, have an external currency for all the other countries to interact with our economy with. And that external currency can be highly inflationary, and that's fine, and should be. But our domestic GB pound, it needs to go up in value. You could call it inflation to make it sound good, but it's deflation of currency value. Inflation is deflation of currency value. And they call it inflation to sound good, but what does that mean? Inflation of prices. Inflation of prices. Of course these giant corporations want inflation of prices. Of course they want us paying £500 for a loaf of Warburtons. Of course they want that. Because what can you do as the currency inflates? You can get more tax take. You can get more profit until people realise their currency is worth less. And it's just this downward spiral all the time. And if you really want to protect small business, let's have the tax take come out of a proportion of profits after running costs. A percentage that's equal for everyone. What they call a flat tax to try and confuse people. So that every business can survive and use its profits for its running costs and have some of the extra. If it makes more profit than that, it can pay a proportion of that in tax and use the other proportion of those profits after running costs to reinvest in the business, to grow what they're doing, to do more things. Just this, like, taxing all these different things. Fuel duty, VAT. Who the fuck wants value added tax? It's not value added. It's value reduction tax. What's the point? Road tax. NHS, national insurance. We know where it all goes into the same pot that all their filthy hands go into. It all just goes in the same pot. Road tax ain't preserved for road maintenance. Road tax goes into the same pot that every other tax goes into, and it don't cover the costs of the government. It doesn't ever, and they just get into debt. We got people running our economy who couldn't even be trusted with a credit card. They don't know how to improve the efficiency of public sector institutions, because without cutting frontline service capacities, you can improve the efficiencies of these systems by understanding the needs required in the service capacities for the population in that particular area, and then build the very minimal necessary managerial structure above that. And you could save money with these institutions and increase service capacities at the same time. Win-win. Two birds with one stone. It's got to change. And it can't just be an effective free market capitalism thing. It needs to be compassionate. We need to roll in all of the valid priorities of the left, and we need to extract some of the understanding of the old right, and we need to put them together, drop all the crap that harms everyone, and integrate it into one thing. And the left need to stop being scared of capitalism because they think this horrible system is capitalism, and the right needs to stop being scared of compassion like it's some kind of loss to us all, and stop being scared of freedoms, new freedoms being against God and against nature. Guess what? God, she don't give a fuck. She does not care about you sticking your willy in a bumhole. She just doesn't care. She wants you to do it because it's fun for everyone as long as it's mutually consensual, mutually voluntary. Wherever there's fun and love, it should be celebrated. I'm bored of all this having to fucking fight for the rights of gay people and stuff. Can we fix this? Can we move beyond this need for fighting for not being discriminated against? Can we hear the message and create a future that's inclusive, fair, ecological, and prosperous at the same time? And I don't care about your little party politics games. You know, Kemi Badenoch says, you're shit because of this and we're great because of that. And what does Starmer jump up and say? Well, you're shit because of this and we're great because of that. Can you please both take your greatness, drop your shitness, stop self-attacking and morally condemning each other, and meet in the middle so that we can have a sensible, integrated, logical system that is humane and moves forward and progresses and is sustainable. People work hard for their money. It's their money. They earned it by being useful. That's their work. Their money represents their energy, the effort they put in, the contribution they make. You just take it. Just like in serfdom, but even worse. Way worse than serfdom. People can't buy a house because there's no way to save, because these banks aren't doing what they should be doing. So what do? They become a landlord, and then everyone has to rent. And then the banks, what do they do with the mortgages involved? They make it more expensive. And the landlords aren't even making any money. And the renters can't have any rights, and it's impossible. It's impossible. They're not building enough houses. Build floating houses on the sea, off the coast, or something. Just do something. Do something about the problems. Address the problems. That's what you're there for. That's why you're in a position of influence. But you didn't seek that position of influence for that reason, did you? You went to Eton or wherever. You got your political science degree. Why? So you could show off about being a politician. How about you figure out how the economy works, how to design systems effectively, how to be creative and think of new solutions, and then you can be trusted to be an MP with moral principles. And by moral principles, I ain't talking about default demonization complexes. I'm talking about competence. Positions of responsibility are for those who are competent enough to respond ably. Responsibility. Do you want to get on your deathbed and just go, fucking hell, I'm a moral embarrassment? What did I do? I just got a load of money that useful people should have got by doing nothing for society. And you're going to be alone on that deathbed because you're a cunt and your family have given up on you. And they ain't going to even send you off. They don't give a fuck that you're dying. They might even squeeze your feeding tube and just kill you because you're a fuck. Is that what you want at the end of your life? Right then, move on from what bad you've been doing. Don't self-attack about it. No one should morally condemn you. Move, noticing your errors, like in Jerry Maguire when he wrote that manual thing. Noticing the memo, noticing your errors is a cause for celebration, not self-attack. It's a cause for celebration because you notice an error, therefore you know how to be better. Because when you understand a problem, you can figure out the solution. When you understand your enemy's battle strategy, you can formulate your battle strategy more effectively. It's a cause for celebration. Oh, I fucked up. Woohoo! I know how to be better, right? I've got something I can understand in order to be better. Yes. No, not shaming yourself, feeling guilt about it. Just move on. That's all that God cares about. She just wants you to be trending in the right direction, towards alignment with natural principles, towards alignment with creation. That's all she cares about. It's not about perfection. No one's perfect. If people believe they're perfect and demand that everyone else pretend so, they will not grow. You will not grow if you expect perfection from yourself. And ironically, you demand everyone to pretend to believe in your perfection. What happens? You never get to perfect yourself. Just be honest with yourselves. Like Jerry Maguire. Be honest with yourselves. Realize what you're doing. If you're stealing in a legally allowed way, it's still stealing. Just the law that prevents stealing hasn't caught up yet to your way of stealing. And what happens to these people who seek the rewards of being useful without caring if they're useful? What happens to them? They go, why aren't I happy? Why don't I feel any meaning in life? What is my purpose? Why am I never satisfied, no matter how much money I gather around me and say, this is mine, mine, mine? How much fame I seek, how much power I seek. It's never going to fulfill you. Power isn't. You can be addicted to power. You can be addicted to money. You can be addicted to wealth. You can be addicted to status and fame. People are addicted to these things. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. This is supposed to be a cooperative endeavor, a virtuous upward spiral where everything gets better. And I don't care about quotas. I care about hiring fairness, and I care about eliminating discrimination. I care about promotion fairness. I care about competence, whoever you are getting you up the ladder. Being put in a position of more responsibility, solemn responsibility. Put in a position where you can be relied upon even more. And the right talk about meritocracy, and the left go, you saying this system is meritocratic? Or they think of little boys clubs or like nepotism and shit like this, and you got the merit badge. Like, no, you're just talking about competence hierarchy versus bullying hierarchy. That's all there is, Are you a protector or a violator? That's it. Do you serve or violate? That's it. I don't care what the demographic distributions in every role and field is. I don't care. We don't know what that is. We can't predict it. All we can do is work on making sure we get towards real equality of opportunity and real non-discrimination. We work on those things, and the distributions will be what they are in that particular generation at that particular time, and it will vary and be dynamic, because that's how you respect people's freedom of choice, because you don't know what the kids in school are going to want to do. And if you start making arbitrary quotas, arbitrary end result quotas, you're going to be persuading people to do things they don't want to do, and persuading other people to not do what they wanted to do. Persuading people to not do what they wanted to do and do what they didn't want to do. That's what you'll end up doing to meet your arbitrary quotas. Of course we should have equal pay for same work. And of course we should figure out how valuable roles in society that currently can't be monetized as well should be supplemented, or how they can better monetize it, like nursery care or whatever it is. But at the end of the day, the market, the value that the market will give you for what you're doing is what it is. We can supplement it with public funding if we had a state that wasn't mired in debt. These people need to know what they're doing, yeah? I look at the whole House of Commons and I think, none of you know what you're doing. You haven't taken the time to learn what you needed to know. You haven't made the necessary sacrifices. A degree does not give you fuck all. It don't prove competence at all. It just proves you've complied with a set of arbitrary standards that are accepted by the system as proof of competence. No, fuck that. Fuck that. If you're interested in being an MP, do what's right. Do what's necessary to know that when you're in that position, you'll be great for it. Do it. And stop taking these positions from people who could do a better job than you. Robbing us all of the future. The right and left need to talk more. Stop demonizing each other. Don't make any sense. We've all got erroneous thinking. We've all got blind spots. That's exactly why you need to talk to each other. Or do you want the right to get, if you're on the left, do you want the right to get worse and worse and worse? And if you're on the right, do you want the left to get worse and worse and worse? Meanwhile, they both hold a monopoly of essential priorities. We ping pong back and forth. Oh, they've done a whole bunch of damage, but almost managed to maintain some sensible principles. Let's go back to them. Oh, they've done a whole bunch of unnecessary damage. They've done a whole bunch of damage and still hold monopoly on essential priorities and principles. Is that what the fuck are we doing, guys? What the fuck is going on? Where are the adults in the room? Why is everyone like children? There's no offence to children, but we all know they have less life experience and less chance to gain knowledge, given where they are at in their life. They've had less time to do it. Why are all these so-called adults like children? I've nothing wrong with integrating, with building yourself from your true self inner child. I've no problem with that. Being childish sometimes, being silly sometimes. But you can be as serious as you like. You can put that face on yourself, Keir Starmer, or Yvette Cooper can wear that serious face. But at the end of the day, if you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you need to do the right thing and resign. But the politicians aren't the real problem, not the core problem. They are trying their best. Everyone is, right? But are they competent enough? No, they're not. They have insufficient competency, and the corporations, most of them, are just destructive rather than generative, as they're supposed to be. And I call for a boycott of Apple, you know. They're not doing anything new innovatively. I remember when iTunes came out, couldn't look at the files on your computer. They had a closed ecosystem. They used to have their own cables that were like millions of pounds for just one cable. And they got planned obsolescence in their data, in their updates, in their software updates. And people care about the latest iPhone like it's any different from any other phone. It's not even technologically most advanced, and Android is. So what are they doing giving money to Apple? What are you guys doing giving money to Apple when you know they're relying on maintaining the peer pressure that makes people buy Apples and not Androids? iPhones, not Androids. You know Tim Cook is very happy with that. Tim Cook and his whole board of chairmen who are not Tim Cook. Tim Cook is not Tim Cook. Tim Cook is not Steve Jobs. Tim Cook is not Johnny Ive. These people are not making anything useful for us. You can put 12 cameras on the back of the phone. It don't make a difference. It's not more useful. And they're a bunch of laurel resters, and they did not earn the money they're making. And you got to vote with your wallets and stop buying Apple products because they suck. And you're going to just isolate them from the pressure, the useful pressure of competition. Because on Android or Linux or whatever, there you can have competing operating systems. Within that, competing interfaces. There's growth possibility there. With Apple, there's not. They just do whatever they want, and everyone loves it regardless. This is the iPhone 36. It's the same. It's a big, ugly, square rectangle thing with a whole bunch of cluttering, multicolored icons all over the place with an unintuitive interface. Stop buying Apple products now. And they didn't want to make the Apple car? Well, fine. Johnny Ive made it with Ferrari. It's got a much better badge on it. So we got the Apple car. We got the Apple car with a Ferrari badge. Joke's on you, Apple. Don't believe in yourselves for doing anything new, do you? And what do? They've got a fucking hundreds of millions of pounds big donut building. What are you doing? What are you doing? What do you do, Apple? What does Apple do? And I know you know the Apple Watch. You know Steve Jobs was around when they were thinking about the Apple Watch. You know that. Stop buying iPhones. Buy a Commodore callback instead. Stop giving money to Apple because you're scared of people taking the piss out of you for having an Android when no one can even tell the difference. You sit on the train, you use your phone, no one has any fucking clue what it is. They all look the same anyway. It's not like they're adding a whole bunch of useful stuff like a spectroscopy sensor or some kind of, I don't know what you want there. I don't know, but or just they don't have a real compass on them. They don't have an infrasound and ultrasound detector. They got nothing. They're not adding anything. They're not adding anything. It's just the same. Better processors, better memory chips. That's it, right? A better screen that no one can tell the difference anymore because there's diminishing returns and screens are good enough. The resolution's good enough, the brightness is good enough, the pixel clarity is good enough, the black depth is good enough. It's now no longer relevant. It's now no longer relevant. Should we keep improving screens? Yeah, for sure. But as the Ferrari Luce shows, it ain't all about touch screens and capacitive touch buttons. Better battery life, really? I don't know. Does it? I mean, You still have to charge these things every night. You still use Google Maps on a trip and you run out of battery. The inductive charging is still only contact based. So what's the point? It's inductively charged, but you still have to have it in contact with something. They're not innovating. They're not innovating. Of course you can keep improving the design of processors and memory chips, but batteries and screens. But I mean, I used to be able to skip track by holding my volume buttons on the phone, and we're actually losing features. I don't have that anymore. I used to have an aux-in socket. No, I don't. I have to use Bluetooth to my aux-in car. It's actually getting worse. And they're not comfortable to hold either. And social media, I mean, all these different websites and different interfaces and different colors and symbols and sign-ins and logins and profiles, password resets, so you got 50 million passwords, you can't remember them, so you have to create a new one every time. This stuff sucks, man. Stuff sucks. Online bank statements that you don't have a search function on them. All this stuff sucks. And I've got to learn to navigate Facebook's interface if I want to contact someone from my past or something. Just looking non-consensually at other people's photo albums online. Oh, look at her birth canal. Oh, look at that. They complain about dick pics. What the hell do they think they're looking at on dating apps? It's basically the same as looking at dick pics, but they want the full body, right? Not just the dick. And that's where it'll go, you know. That's what dating apps will become. Just people flicking through dick pics. That's what it'll be. Dick and vagina pics. Disregardingly swiping left or right. No, it's disgusting. But Toy Story 5 is right. And so is Johnny Ive's company, Love From. They're all right. They know what's going on. And Commodore too. So sick of this capacitive touchscreen centric culture, and it's dying, which is great. It's being killed, and you need to stop giving money to Apple as if that's going to make them create something. No, sometimes to make someone productive, useful, helpful, loving, giving, the best thing you can do is to ostracize them, or ostracize yourself from them. That's the best thing you can do. Leaving someone alone sometimes is the best thing you can do for their growth. Because if you keep rewarding abusers, corporate or individual or political, well, you just end up with Nigel Farage or something. And you end up with whatever Apple's doing. And you end up with your abusive boyfriend. Or girlfriend. You just end up with abusive people all around you. You can't keep throwing your love away to people who don't appreciate it. They just gobble it up and have no reciprocity. You have to stop giving Apple money. When their whole company logo is like, look what Eve did, fuck her. She bit the apple, like Snow White or something. Fuck Apple. The Apple Watch ain't testing your bloodstream to tell you what nutrients you're lacking, or to alert you of cancer. It's not doing fuck all. It's just telling you your heart rate and telling you when to wake up and when to go to the gym and when to eat or something. I don't know what people use a smartwatch for. It's just like a smaller smartphone on your wrist. And what the hell happened to physical things, like actual moving stuff? Like everything, like Toy Story says, everything's supposed to be a toy. Everything is a toy, even us. The whole universe, the whole life. Our life is supposed to be play. As the Eastern philosophers know, life is supposed to be play. And these things are boring. Look at this. Look how boring that is. Shiny screen, because they can't figure out how to make it see-through but not shiny. Where you're dragging your sweaty, grippy fingertip, if you've not got fake nails, dragging your sweaty fingertip, gripping all the way on this grippy glass, with a camera at the top looking at you all the time, with God knows who's watching. And then you look at the back and you look at that. It's disgusting. It's absolutely disgusting on the back. What are 5 holes on the back? The hell is that? And it's not comfortable. It's not comfortable in your pocket. It's not comfortable in your hand. But it's all about just dazzling you with a huge screen. And I pick it up. I'm like, oh, I've got to do something. Let me use my phone. I pick it up. Press the button. Wait for it to light up. Unlock it. It sort of stutters and loads of different stuff at different rates and shows you, like, it shows you the inner workings of how it loads the software. And then you go, right, what was I doing again? Oh, bollocks, let me just turn the phone off and try and remember. And it's like a neuralizer. And then you go, okay, check for that email, turn it on, swipe, check for that email, unlock the phone, check that email. Right, where's the email? Check that. Oh no, that just looks just like the same icon. Right, no, check the email. Okay, that's the email. Check the email. Log in. Ah, bollocks, what's my password? Check the email. Okay, send reset password link to a different email account. Log into that one and hope you got the password for that one. Check that email. Okay, put the code in. Check that email. Fail to pass the robot test for like 5 minutes. Check that email. And then you put your new you make a new password when you've got 50 already, but you have to make a new one. Check that email, right, okay, it's loading, check that email, okay, sent me a text code, let me just put that in, check that email, right, it's loading, check that email, okay, scroll through all of this spam that I never wanted in my own inbox, check that email, okay, the email's not there, okay, turn the phone off. And the people just get on the tube, don't they? They get on the tube. What do? What's the first thing they do? They don't sit there and say, hey, how you doing? What's going on? What's up? Yo, that situation the other day, fucking hell, what the fuck? No, they don't. They just go. They bring out their phone. And they crane their neck down like they're depressed in body language. Look at their phone. So that they don't have to look at anyone's eyes. Just check, what shall I pretend to want to do on my phone now that I'm sat down on the tube? No one can just sit there. No one can just sit there anymore and just feel the vibration of the train going, chucking you about a bit. And just enjoy everyone around you and patiently, but not even patiently, just enjoy the process of getting to where you want to go. No one could. People aren't doing that. You're a weirdo if you do that, right? You're a weirdo if you're a human being, right? It's uncool, isn't it? It's not cool to do that. Sit there and not get your phone out. Just trundle along in the train. Like being on the tube is not sensorily stimulating enough. Like already. Or what shall I pretend to do on my? What shall I pretend to want to do on my phone? What shall I pretend to have the idea that let's just pop some balloons, pop, 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 like we're fucking retards. I don't mean differently abled people, but it's just like, how dehumanizing, how devolving is that? Popping balloons on a touchscreen, or moving bits of unrealistic, unfamiliar candy shapes around and crushing them or whatever work, or launching little cartoon birds. What are we doing? I'm not against shit video games on mobile, but aren't these mobile phones supposed to be as powerful as like a PlayStation 1 by now? Powerful as like a PlayStation 3 by now? Why? But you can't do any games on it because all it's got is a capacitive touch screen, no buttons. Oh, I'll just add you to a contact. Oh, and I'll add you again to WhatsApp. It's not good enough, but the message has got out because the Commodore callback's coming, the pre-order's coming out tomorrow at 10, and you all need to get one so that we can be humans again, and so that technology can be fun technology only. And I don't want to be bothering about reminding myself, setting a reminder on my calendar about when my car insurance renewal is, so that I can shop around for different. Just let the AI handle all that crap. Give me the cheapest car insurance that meets all this criteria, and leave me alone. And you can call those customer service lines. Here's some legal liability stuff that we know you don't want to hear about. By the way, our call center operators are always busy, but especially today, even though this is a message played every time. Like, and then you get through to a robot, like, press 1 for the, press 2 for the, and then you get some crackling low quality music that fades in and out and just stops randomly, and you're like, oh, someone's about to pick up. Oh no, it's just someone saying, your call is very important to us. Oh yeah, I can really see that. Oh, okay, I'll judge you by your words, not your actions. I'm being respected, holding this phone up because the loudspeaker means I can't hear it because it's picking up on the microphone. So I'll hold my arm up for 5 hours, and then the music stops, and you're like, oh no, the music just restarting. Okay, the shit music. Did I ask to have music in my ear? No. I'd rather have just boop, 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 boop. And you know those call centers, they're understaffed. It's a skeleton. It's not even a skeleton crew. They're understaffed, overworked, and the phones are probably just ringing, and they're just like, fuck it, I need a break. Not another customer who's been made angry by our call system. And then you ask them to do something like, oh, the computer says no, let me speak to my manager, just put you on hold. Boop, 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 boop. Okay, we figured out that we're willing to take the risk to our jobs to do something differently for you, even though it should be a completely default possible option. And they have to do that with every customer who needs the same thing, because the procedures are bollocks, because they're designed by some other people in ivory towers somewhere else very far away, who knows nothing about being a customer service call operator. It's the customer service call operators who should be designing the system. But no, they're the ones who should be promoted to designing the system, not just random cunts somewhere else with a bunch of legal teams. Or do you agree to these terms and conditions? Yeah, if we're gonna use this, if we're gonna use your product and service, we're gonna agree to your terms and conditions. We ain't read. No one's reading terms and conditions today. Maybe like 2% of people. But man, that's a waste of time reading through all that crap. Some of it you won't understand in tiny print. No one can be asked. Everyone accepts terms and conditions. You only want us to click accept so that when we're in court you can go, you accepted the terms and conditions you didn't read, and it's your fault you didn't read them. Ignorance is no excuse. And then every website you go on, it loads, and then the whole thing glitches out and loads something else, like your TV, a smart TV. Or it's like, do we not have processing power today? I thought we got real good processors. But no, it's like, and then an advert loads and it all jumps downwards. And then the cookies pop up, goes, do you accept cookies? Like, yeah, I always accept cookies. Everyone loves cookies, but these ain't cookies and we know it. Yeah, accept your cookies. Just fuck off. Just fuck off. And the cookies notification should be managed by the browser, not each website. And then you can just have auto accept. I'm pissed off with all this unnecessary digital friction and all this unhelpful digital lubrication, lack of friction. You know, if convenience and humanity aren't aligned, if it's not if the humaneness and the convenience are not balanced, then convenience is destructive. And like Toy Story 5 pointed out, or Toy Story DU pointed out, said, it pointed out like online bullying. You know, she was bullied for still playing with toys. She was the only kid in the neighborhood still playing with toys. Everyone else's windows were lit up with blue light. We all know blue light is the worst type of light for using in the dark. It's supposed to be red light, if anything. That's what astronomers use to look at their maps. So it's nighttime and you're getting blazed with UV light, basically. And it hurts my eyes. I turn on my phone, I gotta look away, wait for it to do its stuff, so that I don't lose my soul inside the glitching interface. And then I look back at it, like, right, okay, click there, okay, click on that, right, let's wait for that to load. Okay, I think it's still moving. Okay, it's loaded, I can look back at it, squint my eyes because it's so bright. And why does it not have adaptive brightness? It's got light sensors for the camera. Why is the brightness not adaptive? And then you're out in the sun, you need it to be really bright, and it's never going to be bright enough because you've got shiny glass on front of it. No, they suck. Our technology sucks. And this view that we're at some kind of end point in history that people used to have, or probably still have, like, this is the most advanced we can get. No future from here. We made it. We haven't fucking made it. This whole universe got to turn into a baby. And even then we haven't made it. Because then it gets given birth to. We haven't made it. And we will have never made it. That's the whole point in anything existing, is growth. That's the meaning of life. This idea that we've got the best wisdom, we've got the best we got all the wisdom humanity has ever developed. You just don't know about history, do you? You don't know about the burning of the library. You don't know about these things. You don't know about how wise the ancient Egyptians were, or the Celts were. or the ancient Greeks, but especially the ancient Egyptians. We've lost so much wisdom, right? And you're all taught to act like this is the best we've ever been. No, we're absolutely being fucked over. And I don't care if you're being paid for your job that you hate. It's still being a pay slave. And I'm not saying you should feel down on yourself about that, but respect yourself enough to admit that you're a pay slave. Anyway, that's all I got to say.